everyone. Welcome to the 8th Uşak International Short Film Festival. I'm Seren, and today I'm here with Eugene Koshin to talk about his film We'll Never Get Lost Together Again. Welcome, Eugene. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you.
So we loved your film because it was mostly shot in Turkey. So before we go into many details, I want to start with asking why Antalya? Why did you choose that? Do you have any personal recollections that you would like to share with us?
Okay, I can tell you. The idea of the film came to me when I was in the hiking trip in the Lycian Way, not far from Antalya. I've seen an old woman that was praying on the beach, on the seafront on the beach. And that was the first initial image, and then all the story, it was plus, and then the whole story, it end up in this film, The next thing is I tried to find the definite location for my film. I wasn't sure that it will be Antalya. I looked all around the coast from Antalya to Izmir, and it was, first of all, a question of production, because it takes a lot of money. Of course, it took a lot of money for me. So I tried to find a solution that was, realistic at least. And one of the possible location, it was Izmir. I came to Izmir for a week maybe, but the guy who wanted to help me when I came to Izmir, he was absent because he said that he has a depression and so on, and I had a really strange and crazy week in Izmir where I didn't know anyone. I was in a district with a trans horse, or I was in a city when no one speaks English at all, and when I wanted to eat, I just showed, like in pantomimic theater, like I want this. They show me several kind of meat, and I say, okay, this one I want to eat. They okay. And it was really cheap and delicious. It was a town of Kula in 200 kilometers from Izmir, and then I end up in Antalya. And the main problem for me was to get a permission from the Ministry of Culture, because, as you probably know, it's not so easy to shoot in Turkey, because you have to get a permission for everything.
Yeah.
Practically everything, and that is why the Ministry of Culture, of course, they wanted me to shoot my film in Turkey, but they had a lot of questions. For example, they weren't happy with the names of my characters. They said, "What are strange names, Sasha and Sashka?" The film is about two gays that are dancing gay dance salsa. And I try to understand that in Russian language or in European languages, it's okay when the boy is Sasha and the girl is also Sashka.
Yeah.
So in Turkish version of the script, they were like Alex and Nika or something like that.
Oh, I think I only saw the English one. And this permission tip was my follow-up question, because your film, production-wise, it's a very big production. We also logistically go everywhere, by the seaside, the mountains, the city center. We see so many things, and it's a big operation, and it requires lots of permissions too. May I ask, what was the biggest challenge in this production? Was it the permission and the bureaucratic stuff, or I don't know, more about the unexpected stuff that came up?
It's more about unexpected stuff, actually, because when I came to Antalya, I was absolutely sure that my line producer, Katya Bears, had arranged absolutely everything. I talked to a lot of people in advance, but there were some peculiarities on place when we came there. For example, one or two stories. for example, we have arrangement with extra people, local extra people that were in the cafe when we see Sasha and Sashka talking about, we're trying to know each other a little bit closer.
Yeah.
And they are asking a waiter for a Wi-Fi password. So in this scene, we asked some local extra people to come. They weren't, professional actors. They were just, friends of the owner of this Doner cafe in the center of Antalya.
Yeah.
And when we get to the location, it appeared that we don't have any extras at all, because there were some misunderstanding about the time that they had to came into the location. But Katya said me, don't worry, I will find some guys who will just sit in and eat, and it's very simple. So she found some local Turkish guys, and my first AD, Valera, he said to them that they have to stand up when they hear a command, azan. So they hear azan from the mosque, from the local mosque, and they go out of the picture. There were maybe 3 or 4 takes of the establishing shot, of the wide shot. And I see that with every take, there is less and less food in their plates,
Oh.
And after the 4th take, Valera says azan. They stand up. They coming out of the picture. They go down from the stairs, and they disappear in the small Antalya streets, completely. And then my sister, she tried to find some of them, and but they don't speak English at all. They were speaking to each other in Turkish. So in this scene, all the people that we can see in the picture, they're all from our crew.
Oh, really? It doesn't show, actually. I thought the majority of them are just Turkish.
But it's only in this scene. In the other scenes, it was like with extras.
Yeah, actually, that scene was one of my questions too. Why they are just leaving the place when they hear the azan?
Can you repeat?
The only scene that I'm questioning is that when they hear the azan, everybody leaves. Why they do that?
Because from one side, it's Turkey, of course. Well, I mean the location that we see in the picture in the film, but actually it's it's unknown southern Muslim country. We don't know exactly what the country is in this film. And that is why it, of course, it's a question of my imagination, because in the real life, of course, when people hear azan, they don't everybody go to the mosque, because especially if it's modern Turkey, because there are some religious people, some not as much religious. I guess these things they happen in very strict Muslim countries as Saudi Arabia or something like there, because I've seen some videos on YouTube when the streets are completely empty, during the praying, during the service.
But they have to be in the mosque before the prayer starts, you know that, right?
Yeah, sure, I know.
So apart from that, everything makes sense.
So yeah, it's a kind of fiction. I know that in this moment it's not realistic at all.
It's all good. So you shot the film 70% in Turkey. I'm gonna make a guess here and try to guess which other parts that you didn't shot in Turkey. Is one of them is the airport scene, and the second is maybe the bar scene.
Bar scene, yep. Maybe all the interior scenes except the mosque scene. All the interior scenes they were all made in in Kiev, like the scene in the gaming
Internet
club,
cafe. Yeah.
internet cafe, and salsa bar, and the part and the airport, of course, because we had a little problem despite all our authorizations. When we came to the actual airport in Antalya, they said that we cannot do it, and I said, okay, we will do it in Kiev.
How did you manage to come over all these challenges? I mean, you seem like a patient person who is like laid back and just making solutions. How did you overcome all these problems?
There were a lot of problems in these 3 or 4 days before the shooting when we were in Turkey. That is why when we actually began our shooting, I was absolutely, still. I was absolutely still and calm, because I said, maybe it's the theme of the film that leads us to this way of production. If something happens, that okay, we will deal somehow with it. That is why I was absolutely sure that we will shoot at least something. And in the second day of production, and of course, I'm really grateful to all my crew, because the guys at first they were really didn't understand anything what's happening. But then they somehow adjusted to all the process, and they just reacted the way it was, the way it was happening. And they're all professionals. Our crew was absolutely autonomous, We just had extras, some actors from Turkey, some helpers, which are, they're half Russian, half Turkish, for example, or they're husbands of Turkish citizens or wives of Turkish citizens. And that is why we were not depending on someone. They were just us, and they're all professionals. They work in film business. And despite the most crew, they work just for gratis, just for credits. Actually, they work all the time in big productions, in feature films, in TV series, and so on. So they know what to do.
So do you, by the way. I know that you're a very seasoned director in the film industry. You tend to work in the big productions, but I was more curious about your independent work. So I also watched Star David, which was produced 5 years ago, and I really like it. Whoever is watching this right now should really go ahead and watch Star David. I think I found it on YouTube. And I'm just trying to understand your look at independent films. So comparing Star David and We'll Never Get Lost Together Again, I'm kind of like finding some things that I want to ask you. For example, I think you have a very good observation towards the girls who are coming of age, both in the films, because Sashka is 15 years old in the film, and on the other film, the girl is 12 years old, and there are really little nuances that is really powerful, and it's really the world of that girl at the moment, and you have great observations on this. And also the other thing I would say is religion. I think you just use them as concepts, and I love it because it really sets the tone for the films, not using it as a tool, but as a concept. So I love it very much. But I want to ask you this, how do you develop this observation, especially for these girls? Maybe coming from your past or something.
You mean the girl in the first film in Star David, or you mean in both films?
Both, because I think you understand them very well.
Okay. Yeah. The most simple answer to this question will be the following. The girl in the first film in Star David, it is absolutely my experience. I have been studied in Jewish religious school for 4 years. when I was 10 to 13, I guess. From 10 to 13, and then I transferred to, you know, just regular public school. So these observations are connected only with my experience in the first film. In the second film, you know, my character, of course, is Sasha, in the main character. I was in the same situation, but the girl was, but the actual girl, she was around 19 or 20 years old. And of course, some of my experience, especially in the dialogue lines, it was transferred into Sashka as well, into the girl, because you know, this period in my life, I mean, coming of age period when I was a teenager, it is a period that somehow designed me as the personality, and all the time I'm going back to this period, trying to understand not what I did wrong, but I can see some things that I'm doing right now, that the roots of these things are somewhere there in the past. And I just, you know, it's my self-therapy, so to say. I choose the girl or the woman as the character of the film, of every film, actually, because you know, in most of my screenplays, the main character, the main hero is a woman or a girl or a teenage girl.
Yeah.
Because this distance, this gender distance, it allows me to speak, I don't know, more freely from one side, and from the second side, I mean, this distance allows me to convert my own experience to the experience of the fictional character. I guess that is the answer.
Yeah. And you worked with Nikita Katsarevich on this film. I also spoke to Mehmet, and I think he's doing wonders with 16 millimeters. He's got a very good cinematography there. So I'm wondering if you two are thinking about collaborating again and do something more out of the box. It's like working with 16 millimeters or something.
Actually, of course, I want to collaborate with Nikita because he's a great director of photography, and most of the awards that we got for this film, for the We'll Never Get Lost Together Again, is for cinematography, for Nikita's excellent cinematography. Yeah, and now, you know, I can see from his work, from his experience for just, you know, this 1.5 years after we finished the film. He used to work with the great directors, both from Ukraine and from different countries, from Belarus, from Russia, from the United States, from Israel, from Turkey, as I know also. And he works mostly in advertising and in music video productions.
Yeah.
But of course, I want to collaborate with him in a feature film, and we are developing right now a feature that is a feature version of this short film Star David. A more complex, I guess more interesting. It will be called Adolescence. It's not the continuation of Star David. It's it's more broad than the initial story, of course.
Yeah.
With other characters, with more scale, and we try to get funding from our government, from the Ukrainian government, 2 years in a row, but actually we still haven't managed to do it. So we are going to apply next year also and try to get to get finally this money.
Feature film is really long.
but it will be not 16 millimeters, of course. Maybe in some other production, maybe in some experimental movie, but I guess when we are talking about the feature, especially a feature with a budget around, I don't know, $400,000 or $500,000, I guess it's not possible in Ukraine to make it in film, because it takes a lot of money to send all the footages to somewhere to London to make all this technical stuff with the film, with the actual film. So it's very complicated. It's okay for the small productions, for the advertisement, for the music videos, but for the feature films, it's really complicated and really expensive.
It takes years. Yeah. So I wish you patience and luck on the way. Last but not least, let's talk about your current production, which is more in the fifth domain. There are two directors, you and Hüseyin Sadre from Belgium. How is it going so far?
We just finished our actual shooting. It took us around 30 shooting days, both in Kiev and in France. And in Kiev, imitating France. And actually, it's really funny because, so some of the scenes they absolutely like in We'll Never Get Lost Together Again. For example, we can see there a yacht in the sea, or a nightclub, or something like that. This production, it's commercial production. It is a documentary drama. It started just as, my way to earn for living somehow. And I was supposed to be in this project, to work in this project as first assistant director. But due to this pandemic, due to these COVID restrictions, our director, Koshin, he couldn't go to Ukraine, to Kiev. So they suggested me to be a director in this project. Also, I was a scriptwriter, as one of the scriptwriters in this project. We did it together with Hussein. And now we are going to proceed to go to the editing room and to cut and then cut and then cut and then cut. I guess it will take us around 2 months to make some draft.
But that's the fun part too. I love the post-production part as much as I do the production part, so.
It's more calm, of course.
Yeah. Well, okay. It's so great to hear about your future projects as well. I love this film personally very much too, because I'm from also Antalya, from a little town of Antalya. So it was so lovely to see all this incredible geography that Antalya offers, which was once ancient Lycian geography, which is very important, and it was so nice to see it through your eyes. And two lost souls actually coming together. After talking to you now, Sasha's and Sashka's story makes a lot of sense to me, and I believe our viewers are gonna feel the same about it after they watch this.
I hope so.
Thank you so much. Anything you would like to add?
Can you repeat, please?
Anything you would like to add before we go?
I can just add that I'm really a big fan of Turkey. As a tourist, as a director, I hope I will have possibility to shoot there more, maybe with bigger production, with less problems, with less of the situation. But actually, it's really great country. I guess I don't understand how, but I feel they're at home, both in Istanbul, in Antalya, in Izmir. I don't know. It's a great combination. It's really a very comfortable for me combination of East and West, because Ukraine also is somehow a combination of East and West. But Turkey, I really feel great there. So I hope that I will have possibility to shoot there more.
Well, you have one foot here now, so you're always more than welcome back. All the authorities know you, I believe, after all this permission process. So wish you luck, and you're always more than welcome to Turkey.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. this is it. Thank you so much for watching us, and see you on another Q&A session with our director.